What is up, Mom Nation? Happy Tuesday and welcome back to Energy Shift. I am Erin. I'm your go to for all things health, wellness, mindset, hormones, fat loss, body composition, mindset. Did I say mindset? Maybe. All of the above. It is almost the end of January. We've made it through the first month of the year. And I've had a kind of a crazy month, but somehow it has gone by faster than most Januaries. Like from Januaries of my past, I always feel like they drag, and I think that's like kind of the lull from post holiday season. And I was just so ready to get back to my routine this year, and it's felt so good to just be in the swing of things again after the holidays that it's going by really, really fast. And somebody told me once, like, as you get older, the months go by, the days, the weeks, the months just go by faster and faster. And I think that that's so true. I don't know if you resonate with that or if that's something that you experience as well. But I'm 43, and I feel like every year, especially in my 40s, things just have seemed to go in lightning speed. Sometimes the days are slow, but it's like 2025 was just gone in a blink, and now we're here in 2026. And we have new goals. We have a new year. We're trying to live our lives. We're trying to raise our families. We're trying to do all the things. And I want to talk about fat loss today. I don't necessarily bring up fat loss a ton here on Mom Nation because I want to keep this kind of well-rounded. I do a lot of fat loss in my practice, and a lot of times when women come to me for their health and wellness goals, fat loss is at the forefront of what they would like to see happen, along with better energy, better sleep, better libido, all of those things that make our lives a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable. And I am all for living in body composition that you're proud of. I'm all for that. I am not a, I am going to lean into overall wellness, but in with the caveat that I think that we should and deserve to be in a body that makes us feel really, really good about ourselves at any age. I believe it's possible. Literally at 43, I am in the best shape of my adult life. And not only am I in the best shape of my adult life, I also have the best relationship with food, the best relationship with exercise. I'm getting so much better at prioritizing my boundaries and my recovery, which I used to be like a push until I fell type of person. And I still kind of lean into that. I have this type A mentality about me, but it's getting better. I am realizing how important sleep actually is, and downtime and rest and mental health care and all of those things, especially when it comes to our body composition changing. And I know that there is no coincidence that I am living currently in my best body that I've had ever in my life at 43, but also with the best mindset, the best relationship with food, the best relationship with exercise. Those are all things that coincide as a tag team. And not a lot of people talk about this. It's all about calorie deficit, getting the fat off, exercising. Yeah, of course, I do all that stuff too. That's important. But what is so underrepresented is the roundness of your wellness routine, and what really drives the body composition that you want. Because most of the time we stick to one part: calorie deficit, restricting, cutting out our favorite foods, adding in more movement. And yeah, some of that is going to be important, but the actual important part is the consistency, the mindset patterns, the coping mechanism skills that we're dealing with, nourishment, having enough food, enough protein, enough fiber, enough fruits and vegetables, enough colors, enough nutrients, so that our bodies feel safe. And especially if you are in the era like I am of perimenopause life in my 40s, you're dealing with some hormonal stuff, you're dealing with some metabolic decline, less muscle mass, you're dealing with sleep issues, you're dealing with obvious hormone issues. All of us are. And there, a lot of these things can be managed, upregulated, balanced back out with understanding what our body actually needs to survive and respond. So what we see and what I see day to day, especially with women who are trying to lose body fat, is it's always in this flux. Like, I'm perfect, I don't hit it. I'm perfect, I don't hit it. I'm perfect, I don't hit it. A lot of us women reside in this all or nothing mentality. And I think we have been ingrained this perfection mindset for most of our lives. And this is where fat loss and health go to die, because we'll see a lot of dramatic undercutting of calories, not understanding nutrients, then overconsumption of calories, that coping like I was good all week and I want to let loose on the weekend, back and forth over and over, not like over exercising, under exercising, hitting 12,000 steps a day. One day is 3,000 steps, over and over, like back and forth. When what our bodies have always wanted, and what they especially want now in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, is stability. And if you're younger and watching this, if you're someone in your 20s, I wish somebody would have told me this in my 20s. Nobody did. No, like I didn't have a health forward family, and there wasn't social media, so there weren't influencers, there weren't people online teaching us this. It was all like slim fast shakes and, like, again, restriction. The restriction thing just compounds over time. It's the same thing with a new package for generations. Now we have weight loss shots. It's the same stuff over and over and over again. But what nobody is teaching and nobody is saying is that it starts with the mindset, and then it transforms into your entire life, your entire body composition, how you move, how you sleep, how you act, how you eat, how you approach your relationships. All of these things have to go together. It's really important to understand that and start shifting in that capacity, because if we cannot call ourselves out, if we cannot look at the parts of us that are holding us back, that is where we are never going to grow. We're going to keep band-aiding it and going back and forth. It's like, I'll tell you, my example is a previous version of me used to dramatically undereat food and dramatically overconsume alcohol. So with that, I was creating a high inflammatory response, both with blood sugar swings from not having enough food, and then essentially getting a lot of my calories from wine or whiskey, cocktails, that kind of thing. And so I was inflamed, I was bloated, I gained about 40 pounds in a couple of years, even though I was, excuse me, I was eating healthy. My food was healthy. I wasn't eating a lot. I wasn't eating enough. And I was exercising 5 days a week. I went to the gym. I had a personal trainer. I did all the things. This is what we see when a lot of women are like, I'm doing everything right, but it's not working. And yes, you are doing a lot of things right, but there is some inconsistencies in the patterns. And usually it's one or two things that we are afraid to let go of, afraid to call ourselves out on. That is really where our sticking point is. Maybe that is, you're afraid to work on your relationship with food. You've underate most of your life, so you overeat and undereat, overeat and undereat. You're afraid of carbohydrates. We know that carbohydrates are going to be stabilizing for cortisol. So a lot of women are worried about like cortisol belly. And if you don't have enough carbohydrates, you're going to continue to bloat. You're going to continue to have low energy days. You're going to continue to see sleep disruptions. You're going to continue to underperform in the gym spaces or not be able to work out because you're so exhausted. It makes sense that you're tired because you're under consuming calories, under consuming carbohydrates, your thyroid is sluggish. All of these things are working in tandem. And if we just start to understand that our body the mechanism is trying to keep us alive. So the instability is sending up red flags. So, you might be eating 12 to 1400 calories during the week and 3,500 calories on the weekend. That's signaling that food is scarce part of the week and overabundant other parts of the week. So you think about, like, if you're somebody who often yo-yos, you lose 10 pounds, gain it back, lose 20 pounds, gain it back, you're giving your body that response. Our bodies mirror what we're giving it more consistently, not what we're giving it some of the time. So that's where you feel like you're just killing yourself. You're working so hard, you're doing everything you can to get to your goal, and really not seeing the benefit or the result that you want, or being able to sustain or maintain that result. And this is where, like, all of the media and marketing wants women to believe that they're broken. They're not. They don't want you stable, because then you're buying stuff that you don't need. You're buying supplements you don't need. You're buying pharmaceuticals you don't need. And I am by no means a a person who is against getting help for mental health issues, physical health issues, even if that's a pharmaceutical. But a lot of these things are just sold to women as a brokenness tool, as opposed to figuring out what's actually causing the stall, figuring out what's actually causing the health issues. If we need to supplement or add HRT, I'm on HRT. There's no malice in that. I'm not talking shit about that. What I am saying is that we deserve some level of autonomy. We deserve to be able to understand what's going on with our bodies. And if we're overeating, undereating, sometimes working out, sometimes sedentary, that's going to give your body this. And that's why you're getting this. That's why, like, you'll see the scale shift down, and then the next day somehow it's 4 or 5 pounds heavier. And you're like, well, I didn't even eat that much yesterday. That's probably why. You probably didn't eat enough. So your body is holding on to what it can. And no, starvation mode is not a thing. You can't eat too little and not lose body fat, but you can eat too little followed by too much, cancel out your caloric deficit, have a high inflammatory response. So you think you're gaining weight, then you give up. I'm losing my voice. Sorry. Then you give up on your plan. You say you're going to start over on Monday. The cycle just repeats itself over and over, instead of figuring out what you can do every day, most days, and what that looks like. I'm going to give you the foundations to start working on right now. These are the things that should be non-negotiable for you every single day, most days. With the caveat being, major emergencies, illness. There are going to be some days where some things fall by the wayside, but if you can prioritize these foundations, I like to call them anchors or foundations, you are going to find that you feel better, you sleep better, you move better, you're more full, you have less food noise, your body is going to respond with less inflammation, easier body fat loss, and it's sustainable over time. Okay. So let's dive into what that looks like. First, we're going to start with nutrition. Instead of focusing on cutting things out, we need to focus on getting enough. The nutrients, most women I talk to are nutrient depleted, meaning we're not getting enough protein, we're not getting enough fiber. We should be at least at 100 to 120 grams of protein a day. Every single one of us should be there, if not 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight or desired goal weight. So let's say, you weigh 180 pounds and your goal weight is 150. We're going to aim for about 150 grams of protein. Keep it simple. But if you're not there yet, let's get to 100 to 120. The next one is fiber. This is going to affect satiety. So producing that natural GLP-1 so that you don't have cravings, you don't have food noise, you stay full longer, and you have better digestion. So no constipation. Those things can mimic fat loss resistance. We need to get our fiber in. 25 to 30 grams of fiber every single day. No, yes, some days are going to be off, but no exceptions in most cases. Protein, fiber. Make sure you're getting enough. This is going to move the needle for you first before you even worry about calories. And the reason why is this: they're going to keep you full longer. It takes your body more energy to break down whole food protein sources, so like animal protein sources, and whole food fiber sources. So we're not talking about supplementation, not protein powder or like Metamucil, whole food sources of fiber and protein. You're going to burn more calories. So if you're in a caloric deficit, you're trying to lose body fat, not only are you full longer, you're naturally burning more calories, making your deficit work better for you over time. So those two are first. That's where we're going to get our nutrients in. We're not even going to talk about calories yet. If you need help with calories, reach out to me separately. We can have a conversation about that. The next one is movement. Resistance training is key. If you are not strength training, you're losing muscle mass, you're losing metabolic health, you're risking bone density issues as you get older, and you're making fat loss harder overall. Strength training is the key to longevity and fat loss. We want to be weight training somewhere between 3 and 5 times a week. I like to split that right down the middle and do 4. 4 is what most of my clients do. 4 is what I do. I do 2 upper body days, 2 lower body days, and that's it. Those are my strength training for the week. In addition to strength training, we want to be getting steps. We call it NEAT. So that's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And what that is going to do is help you burn calories between workouts. Most of the time, workouts are like 45 to 90 minutes, give or take, somewhere in there, usually about an hour. So we're moving for an hour, but a lot of our days now are sitting at a computer like I am now, talking, working, Zooming, all the things that we do online. So getting up and getting a minimum of 7,000 steps a day is going to take you out of the sedentary category up to, 10 to 12,000 steps a day, depending on your time. Maybe you only have time to do 7, but that's going to move the needle for you. It's going to help with digestive health. It's going to help with sleep and circadian rhythm. It's going to help with fat loss. It's going to help with your hormonal stability. It's going to help with your feel-good hormones. All of these things, they all go together. As explaining this to a client who had a previous history of going through very strict dietary protocols and not adding exercise. So what would happen to her is she'd lose the weight, gain it right back and then some, lose the weight, gain it right back and then some. And because she wasn't putting the whole puzzle together, yeah, she could do the deficit, but she couldn't sustain or maintain it. Then she didn't have enough metabolic tissue, muscle mass to sustain or keep the body fat off. So when she went back to eating normally or went back to eating more calories, it came right back on. Muscle is our most metabolically active tissue, meaning that your body is going to burn more calories at rest the more muscle you have. So you can eat more calories and maintain your weight. It's also going to be beneficial for insulin resistance. If you are somebody who experiences insulin resistance, fat loss is harder. Muscle is what breaks up with insulin resistance. So you need it all to go together. It's going to not only build that toned body composition that most women want, lean, toned, muscular, looks like you work out, that kind of thing. That's muscle, that's strength training. And then you could do 3 or 4 sessions of that. If you like yoga, if you like Pilates, if you like spin, you can throw an extra workout in there too if you want to. But for me, what I do, this is my routine. 4 strength training sessions a week, sessions a week. Like I said, 2 upper, 2 lower body days. I try to do 20 minutes of cardio if I have time after I lift on the elliptical. So medium intensity cardio. I hit somewhere between 10 and 12,000 steps a day. And that is my routine. I have people all over the map, people with 7,000 steps a day, 5 strength training sessions, 4 strength training sessions. You have to figure out what works best for you and plug that into your life. My weight training sessions are about 45 minutes in length 4 times a week. I'm not there forever. I'm not there for 2 hours lifting weights. I do about 45 minutes, 20 minutes on the elliptical and I'm out. So a little over an hour is 4 times a week is what I'm doing. And then the rest of the time, either walking on my walking pad, depending on the weather, or walking outside, which is obviously preferable. And it's actually really good for you for vitamin D and that kind of thing. Okay. The next one is hydration and sleep. We're just going to put those 2 things together. If you're not sleeping, you're not losing body fat. You're going to be inflamed. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to have some hormonal instability. You're going to have metabolic decline. Getting somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a night, putting your phone down at the end of the night, no phone 2 hours before bed, wind down routine. We've talked about this before. Magnesium glycinate before you go to bed is going to be a game changer for you. And hydration, making sure you're not drinking your calories. So this is huge. The sugary coffee, drinks, alcohol, that kind of thing, that's going to be fat loss deterrent numero uno. And if you can break up with that, maybe make the coffee drinks a treat on occasion, once a week instead of every day, once every other week, whatever that looks like. Same thing with alcohol, once a week, once every other week. Have it as a treat, not as a bookend to your day. And you are going to get better sleep. You're going to have more control over your calories. You're going to be able to eat more nutrients. And like I said, this was my problem, is my calories were low from food, but high from beverages. And so I was in a caloric surplus and I was gaining weight. over time, even though it seemed like I wasn't eating very much. I was very confused by this back in the day. And then now, now knowing what I know, it makes sense. But again, nobody really talks about this. And it's like, yeah, those calories matter too. And especially if it's something like alcohol, which is going to be inflammatory, it's going to hinder your sleep, all kinds of things. That really is going to make fat loss a whole hell of a lot harder. It's going to like destabilize hormones, all kinds of things that we don't really want to do. So yes, I still have alcohol once a week, once every other week. I think last week I had one. So it's something that like I do still enjoy, do still like to have a margarita or a good glass of wine, but it's not an everyday thing like it used to be. So, and then hydration. Yes. Half of your body weight in ounces of water a day. We all carry around those Stanley cups or whatever kind of cups. Everybody has one. So get it out if you're not using it and make sure you're getting half of your body weight in ounces a day. So here are your anchors. We got protein, we got fiber, we have strength training. If you're not strength training right now, just go with two. Do two a week, easy, 30 minutes. Steps, shoot for at least 7,000, if not more. Sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. No phone before bed. This one is huge. And then half your body weight in ounces of water. You will feel like a different person if you implement this, and take it slow. Don't stress yourself out. Maybe this week you focus on protein, fiber, and water. And then next week you add in steps, or this week you focus on protein, fiber, and steps, and you add in water and workouts in the next couple weeks. Let it work as you work. You don't have to slam it all into your schedule now. That's just going to cause more stress, more chaos, which makes fat loss harder also. So make it easier on yourself. Allow your body safety, allow your body stability. You will feel like a brand new person. I'm telling you, if you implement this for 4 weeks, you come to me and tell me that you don't feel amazing, I'll work with you for free for a month until you do. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope this was helpful. Reach out to me if you need help with anything that has to do with any of this stuff. I would love to chat about it in DMs. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you again next week.
Struggling to feel your best? When energy is low and nothing seems to work, it's time for a new approach. Here's someone who guides real people to real, lasting wellness. Meet Erin McDonald, certified master health coach, nutrition coach, and NASM personal trainer. Helping you create simple, lasting routines that support a healthier, more energized you. Feel better, move better, live better. Because health isn't just a goal, it's a lifestyle you deserve. Take the first step toward feeling your best. Your future self will thank you. Connect with Erin today.